I'm going to share with you a possible alternative to the introductory session and inquiry record. This is an alternative to using that if you would rather keep track ongoingly of people that have expressed interest in taking piano lessons with you. So I'm going to quickly just go over what's on this spreadsheet, and I'm going to recommend some ways to use it to really get some good information from it. So the first column here is status. I have just set up 3 different statuses: active, hold, and drip. You can add any that you want. You can delete these, but I'm going to explain what these mean. For me, active is fairly self-explanatory. Just a person that has expressed interest and is a potential enrollee. Hold is for somebody that has called you and expressed interest, but they say they want to wait. For example, sometimes they'll say, hey, we've decided, we really want to do this, but we've decided to wait till the school year, something along those lines. So then you don't want to keep bothering them in the meantime. And then drip is for those prospects that they have contacted you and expressed interest, but they're not responding at some point. And so you don't want to just drop them because they have expressed interest. So you might just once a month or once every other month send them an email just as a little reminder, hey, remember me, kind of a thing. And they may become a student at a later date. You could also invite them to introductory sessions that you hold later on. So that's the status column. Then we have the contact name and the student's name, potential student, and age. The source is how they heard about you. So I set these up, but again, you can make this your own, of course. Personal is just somebody that you know. Our referral is word of mouth. Somebody recommended you to somebody. And social media, of course, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Advertising, if you do that, and then internet search. Those seem to be the main ones these days. And then just their contact information. And then the comment column is for any general comments about the contact, not specifics. So that's the general spreadsheet, just the main information. Now I have a couple of comments here you'll see this little triangle up here in the corner of this heading here. And if you hover over it, a little box will pop up, and I've typed some notes in there, just explanatory notes. It's explaining how to add additional sources. And then you can't see it very well, but there is also one in this status box. So it's just explaining a little bit about that field. Now I'm going to show you how you can kind of sort or filter specific records that you want out of here, because I have entered some sample data here, and this isn't very many. I mean, you could just glance through this and get what you need, but if you're keeping a running list as you go of people that are still prospective students, then you might need to filter it at a later date. And I recommend you do keep them in there for a while if you're trying to grow your studio. So what I want to show you is, let's say you want to just see who all of your drip clients or drip prospects are. So I've set up some filters, and here's how that works. You would go to this data menu item, filter views, and then underneath here, these are the ones that I have set up. I will also add one for hold. I didn't get that one in there. So what you do is, if you just want to see who's active right now, you just tap on that, and then it just pulls out all of the active status people. And then if you want to get out of that filter, this is called a filter view. This gray background is kind of indicating that filter view, so then you just X out of that, and then you have all your records back. So let's go back in data, filter view, if we want to see all the drips. Okay, that didn't sound very nice. drip potential contacts that you are going to drip feed some information to. There are two other filters that I've set up that I think can be really useful. So we're going to go back into data, filter views, FIS upcoming. You tap on that. Then the FIS dates are ones that have not happened yet. So that's useful if you've got an introductory session tomorrow and you want to see, okay, who's signed up for this one. So I'm going to X out of that view. And then the other one, filter views, was FIS attended. So that pulls up anyone that has been to the introductory session. So those are people that you would want to follow up with. Now, if you have someone scheduled for an introductory session and they don't show up, then you would need to delete this date. And I'm going to show you where you might want to notate that in a little bit. So here's a really cool feature in Google that you can use to organize your tasks and reminders. Over here on the right side of the spreadsheet are three little icons here. This one is tasks, so if we click on that, in this area you can keep a running list of things that you don't want to forget to do. And you can create as many lists up here as you want. So this is where you can create a new list. So if you just want to organize your tasks by category, this is how you can do that. So right now I'm going to rename this list to follow-up. And in here you would add, let's say you wanted to remind the people that are scheduled for an introductory session, let's say on the May 15th, that you want to send a reminder email for FIS, and then you click on the pencil, the edit, and add a date. So let's remind them on the day before, the 14th. And you can even set a time here if you want to. It's nice that you can also set repeating tasks in here. Okay, and then if you have any other details that you want to add here, you can. And then when you're done, if you just click this back arrow, then it shows up in your list and it shows the date. Other things that you might put in here is, let's say that you called John Doe and you left a message and they have not been to an introductory session yet, and you just want to remind yourself to reach out again if you don't hear back. So you might say call or email, whatever, John Doe, and on the edits, I would put in the details here why I'm calling him. Follow up if no response to 4:30 email, and then a date. So you send an email on the 30th. If you don't hear back from him, you want to remind yourself to contact him maybe on the 12th and invite to your FIS on the 15th. I'm just making things up here. Back. Okay, so now I've got both of these tasks, and I think by default they're going to show up in the order that you enter them. So let me enter one. Say we put that for April or May 30th. Okay, so you see that shows up May 30th and then May 12th and then May 14th. If you want them to show up in order, if you go to this More button, sort by my order is the order that you entered them, or date. There, now the first one is going to show up first. And then when you complete those tasks, you just check them off. So that's a nice way to organize your to-do list. And then one other feature I want to show you is this. It's called Google Keep, and it's just a place to track some notes. And I think this is a great way to keep track of all of your follow-up communications. And so I'm suggesting that maybe you could use it this way, by having the title of your note be the prospect name. So let's go Harold Baines. And then I would just keep a running list of contacts that I've made with him. So we know that he contacted us on March 29th. And let's say on April 5th, followed up via email. Okay, and then let's say we don't hear anything back, and we have an introductory session scheduled on May 8th. So you'd probably set a reminder over here to invite him, or maybe you already have invited him. And let's say that you did that. And so maybe on 4/18, invited to 5/8 FIS. Okay. And then let's say he responds back on the 19th. Incoming email, can't make it. So then you've got, anyway, you've just got a running record. This is, I'm just making this up just to give you an example. And then let's say you start having some communications with Dan Smith. So you're just, again, what's the first date he called? 4/6. Okay. So let's say in between there, you had done some other contacts, like on 4/10, invited to 5/8 FIS. He responded, yes. Whoopsie. And, you know, whatever, you can put as much detail in here as you want. And then if there's somebody that you want to, you know, that you're going to be following up with more regularly, you can click on this little pin here, and it'll pin it to the top. So those are just some suggestions for using this. And I wanted to show you down here, you can create new sheets. These are all different sheets in the same file. So here's some instructions. You might want to have a peek at that. And there's a lot you can do in this file. So I encourage you to look into it a little bit more. You can do a lot more with these things than what I have shown you. So good luck with this. If you want to use it, feel free to go to File and make a copy. I've shared a read-only copy with you, but you will want to make a copy so that you can edit yours. And I hope you find this useful.